Welcome, guys, to the CineNerds live podcast tonight, where we're talking about Ghostbusters Frozen Empire.
I'm JP.
I'm Ryan.
I'm James.
There he is. James is from afar today, so this will be a unique one. That was part of our technical difficulties as we got there.
Yeah, we had some issues between the video and audio and streaming him in. We don't even know what happened, but we got it kind of worked out. It just trial and error. This happens every time we go live, but this is the first time we actually had an issue with the audio and video input. It was every other time it's been I can't get it to go live on Facebook and YouTube at the same time.
We already have a shit ton of comments in the on the YouTube side. So just so you know, guys, when we do live, it's a little different from our normal Thursday chats because we're also doing the podcast as we go, so we can't be focused necessarily on it, but we'll try to get to it as we can. Also, what are you grinning about over here?
I'm grinning about your beverage.
Anyways,
Can't see him. What's he?
I've got a beverage this evening. I got a beer in my hand. So yeah, it's been a week. But anyways, we won't get into that. You have the Slimer bucket? Hold on. Before we get in.
No. This is a Starbucks cup.
I can't see him from over there, but I believe it. So real quick, I'm just gonna say this, guys, as we get into the live here. If you haven't seen Frozen Empire, and you care about spoilers, you don't want to go any further, because we will be discussing a lot of spoilers, a lot of the context of the movie, the plot, the story, the whole bit. If you don't mind spoilers and you haven't seen it, then stick along. Stick along for the ride.
So, yeah, today we're doing Frozen Empire, and yeah, we're going to have a lot of spoilers, and so, yeah.
Before we get into this, I'm gonna sidebar too with this and cover one quick other topic. We already have somebody that made a comment in the feed this week. Cleveland, Ohio music scene, friends, everyone was impacted greatly. Our dear friend Jeff Hatrix lost his wife Stacy Hatrix, and it's hitting everyone kind of in a big way. If you ever had the pleasure to meet Stacy, she was seriously one of the kindest individuals that you could ever hope to know. My heart goes out to Jeff. I'm sorry, man. It's a lot. It's a lot.
Stacy was always super sweet, and it's just it's gut wrenching, and I can't. My heart just breaks so much for you, Jeff.
I just got a little yeah. So that said, if you knew Stacy, share memories of her, talk about her often, keep her alive and going for many years to come, because she is an amazing individual, was an amazing individual, and I want to see her legacy always keep shining, guys. So I will shut up now.
Real quick, Waylon also, he did start a GoFundMe for her.
Okay.
And the GoFundMe, I know James and I and I haven't shared on CineNerds, so I will share it on CineNerds when we're done. But it's on the AKC page, on Waylon's page, my page, James's page. So, yeah, just go check out the GoFundMe if you can donate. Even if it's $1, just donate whatever you can if you can.
It's a lot.
I have a question.
It's heavy. So sorry if we took a second for that, but it was necessary because, yeah, it's hit everyone in this area, that, or anyone that knew her for that matter. So, much love to the Hatrix family, and yeah. That said, we'll move into a little more cheery direction with Ghostbusters, because Ghostbusters, it's fucking rad.
Since we've been talking a lot, James, this is your pick. So, what's your first initial impressions of Ghostbusters Frozen Empire?
I thought this was a group pick.
No, this was all James.
I demoted my initial pick to do this.
James,
I liked it. I literally I just got home from seeing it.
This is because I think he keeps going in and out, and it's kicking his audio off. It did. So here we are.
All right, we'll keep it moving.
Yeah, I got you now, James.
Okay, so I literally just went and saw the movie today at 4 p.m. I took Lawson right after school. He loved it. I loved it. I did like the afterlife a little bit better, but that's because of the nostalgia of Ramus and, that whole feel. But I actually thought this movie was really good. And I have one issue, and it's not with the movie. It's the way people are portraying a certain part of the movie. But we'll talk about that later.
Okay.
But
That's your
as
initial.
As a whole, I thought the graphics were good. I thought the villain was awesome. I like the idea of how Stedman or Harvey Stedmore, however you say it. I love how he was still moving forward with things as a philanthropist, and how he, had a whole other area of being worked on to keep this going. Like, I thought that was another really cool way of keeping the story going.
Okay.
What's your take?
My take. This is definitely outside. I'm not going to talk about. I don't count the. Was it 2016 Ghostbusters? Was it 16?
You don't count Afterlife?
No, not Afterlife.
The women.
Yeah.
The other.
So
the one we will not mention.
So this is. I don't count that one. What'd you say, James?
I agree with you. That one does not count. It never happened.
Keeps muting him for some reason.
James, you're a pain in our ass today.
I had to keep turning back to unmute him. Like, I don't know why it keeps muting him.
It's like we're your wife. We just can mute you and unmute you. It's good.
But yeah, my initial feelings on it, it fell as the weakest Ghostbuster of all, outside of the one we don't consider part of Ghostbusters.
The one we shall not name.
Yeah. I didn't hate it. I enjoyed the movie. It fell really into the middle ground. For me, it had elements that I fucking loved, but it had a lot of pacing issues. Too many characters that just, to me, they were there just to be there, and they were pointless. If they'd have took a few of the characters out, mainly the kids from Afterlife, like not the main cast of the kids, but the two other kids that were just kind of there hanging out and popped up every now and then. I just think that they were a waste. They didn't even need to be there, and it caused a lot of pacing issues. It caused lack of character development. But the main villain, I think the main villain was great. It felt like an episode of the real Ghostbusters, which I loved. And so the elements of that I thought were fantastic. But overall, with the pacing issues, it fell real short for me.
So for me, if I were to do a ranking of the Ghostbusters, this would be number 4 as well. It is the weakest for me of all of them. There are so many aspects of this movie that had amazing potential to be amazing. And I always, what I will say about this is, I'm not your standard fanboy where I just go in and bitch about any movie or franchise because it didn't go the way I wanted. I will give any movie or franchise a chance. Hell, I even stick up for any of the Star Wars movies. The second, the sequel series. I'll stick up for any of those as well. So when I tear apart something, please know it's with due diligence. So I enjoyed the story. I enjoyed what they're trying to go for here. I just think they tried to cram way too much in too little of a window, and they tried to really force that nostalgia down our throat. I felt a little gypped too, because when they were doing like the Fire Master thing, I thought of Keymaster. I thought about those things. There's definitely some recycled story in there. But we'll dig into this a little bit deeper here. So that was my initial thought, though.
Okay. James, you still out there with us?
I'm here. I got Swedish fish.
I'm actually jealous. That sounds delightful.
I got some nerds upstairs.
Left already. How do you feel Phoebe? How do you feel that character was?
Excellent.
This is my thing with Phoebe. She was so good in the first one, and I didn't hate her in this one. However, I fucking think that they just fucked her up, if you want me to be blunt. I really think that she was such a awkward girl in the first one, and this one it seemed like she was almost the opposite of that. And I get there's a character development there, but I didn't like it.
So I disagree slightly. So I took it as she's a normal teenage girl, and she's coming of age, and she's got challenging aspects. And who are we waving at?
Heather.
Hi, Heather. Anyways, so the difficulty she presented, definitely, like, to me, let me rewind here. From what I said initially, I would have been content had this been a movie just based around her and Dan Aykroyd primarily. I felt like their story development together in this, the way that their paths went, I thought they were amazing. And the way that Dan Aykroyd helped get into the orb aspects, which we'll talk about more too, because that's an amazing part of this. I felt like all those things mattered here.
No, I enjoyed her character. I just think that she was a better character in Afterlife. And I also, if you want me to be blunt, I hated the fact that they made her fall in love with a ghost.
But you know what?
See,
I didn't get that.
That's why I'm bringing this up, because I don't get that. I got that she finally had a friend.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't take it as a love interest. I took it as she finally just felt like she had a friend, because she hasn't had one in either movie. So I didn't get, because I've seen a lot of people write this like, oh, she has a lesbian. They made her a lesbian. No, they didn't. I don't feel they did.
Even if they did, I don't care.
I didn't care. Even if they did,
I could care less about that. But I just feel I didn't get a love interest out of it. She just finally had a friend that she could communicate and talk with. That's what I got out of it.
Somebody would actually give her validation for the things she was feeling.
I think I didn't care that whether they made her lesbian or not. I didn't care about that. I feel like, to me, it was just, if her love interest was a ghost, that's what was weird to me.
Well, that got us to where we needed to get. Yeah, that was the whole reason she wanted to be out of form. So I get it.
But I can see what James is saying, that she was looking for that friend, that really, just tight friend.
I feel like we need to rewind here. I feel like we started talking about the movie and plot points and things, but we didn't really give the premise of the movie. So just to be clear, we start out with Ghostbusters Frozen Empire, and what starts out as like an impressive beginning to a movie gives this wonderful backstory that you come into the first time that the orb, which is the main focus of the movie, first time it was used in New York City, and the results of what happened. You have firefighters trying to break through a door. They find the whole room frozen. And then after they get through those events, that's like a 5-10 minute window. It fast forwards to modern day. You have the Ghostbusters chasing a ghost in the daytime. Big problem for me, because I thought I enjoyed the nighttime ghost chases, but I understand why. But it goes from there, and there's problems developing where the Ghostbusters now, it's a family-based situation, because the older Ghostbusters are not there with this group. You've got Finn Wolfhard, and what's her name? The girl.
Phoebe,
sorry.
Yep.
The character Phoebe. Her, the mom, dad, Paul Rudd, all of them are doing their thing, and they're the Ghostbusters now, and they're chasing a ghost through the city. And as they do that, they kind of cause some chaos and wreak some havoc, and unfolds the same kind of premise that you would have gotten out of the old Ghostbusters movies, where the Ghostbusters are more problematic than it's worth, becomes a problem with the city, and then as things start unfolding, Dan Aykroyd comes across the orb, and the orb kind of unveils our new baddie, our new villain. The problems come with the story, and in lays the main plot. So I'll shut up.
That was a mouthful.
Yeah, I know.
What'd you think? Can
we talk about how Peck is back?
So
loved it.
I loved it, but I was so pissed. Like, okay, so this part bothered me a little bit. Like, Bill Murray coming into the film I felt was so useless in this situation. I wanted Bill Murray to be there, because he, to me, was the heart of Ghostbusters 1 and 2. I enjoyed every aspect of him, from his sarcasm to his humor. But when you look at the old Ghostbusters, you had ghost blowjobs, and you had Bill Murray saying things like making the dick joke that he makes with Peck. Those things were excellent, and there's no moment of anything like that, at least not to that extent.
Well, I think they made Bill Murray tone back, because if you go back to the original Ghostbusters, there's things that he said in that original Ghostbusters in today's world would be problematic.
Right.
And
But Bill Murray, I feel, of all people, is a good person at delivering those in a different roundabout way and putting his own spin on it. So I would have liked to see them give him a little more freedom. I feel like they just said, "Hey, Bill, come be part of it. Everyone else is," and he just showed up. Like, I don't feel like he brought it the A game. I think he's ready to hand the torch completely over, and that's fine too. It's being done well. But Afterlife for me was way better in all aspects.
Afterlife, I mean, I was all teary-eyed at the end of Afterlife.
Oh, the way they brought Harold Ramis back. Oh my God, that was clutch. It was good. Paid respects the right way. It did everything that we needed to do. It touched all the bases. I do like that we got away from Zool and the standard Ghostbusters other stuff. And we got a new bad guy in this one though. So,
and that's what I love. I love the bad guy, and not just the bad guy. Even the ghost they're hunting at the very beginning of the film, the dragon ghost. It felt very reminiscent of the real Ghostbusters cartoon, and I love that a lot of the ghosts were very reminiscent.
Which
of
Ghostbusters cartoon?
The real Ghostbusters.
Thank you.
Also, Extreme Ghostbusters. I love Extreme Ghostbusters.
It was good, but it was
a great sequel series.
Yeah.
Hang on, he's trying to talk.
So, how did you guys feel about? I know you touched on it a little bit, Ryan, but like, I found it super weird that the kid was living in the basement of Dan Aykroyd's place, and there's just little marshmallow men running around. Like, it was so weird to me. So weird to me.
I enjoyed Podcast. I think
I love his part, but it was like you said. It was JP might have said it. It wasn't developed well for this movie, and I'm glad he was in it because I love him.
So
yeah, I love Podcast and Afterlife, but that was what I was saying at the beginning of the episode tonight. Was Podcast was one of the characters that did not need to be in this film. He needed to be in Nebraska or whatever he was. I think it was a pointless. The only reason he was, I will say that I do understand why he was at Dan Aykroyd's shop, because Dan Aykroyd was his one listener on his show, and so he was a fan. But it just his character. There was no point in him being there. It took his character and the other girl character that worked in the government facility. Their characters it was wasted plot points that they could have spent more time with Phoebe or the original cast.
But to me, and this is just me speaking out loud, this is why I got a little flustered with this one, with it too much. I felt Afterlife was supposed to be that transitional storyline to hand the torch, pass the torch, whatever. And these characters, these young characters, are supposed to be that.
But I get it passing the torch, but to me, it was passing the torch to Phoebe, her brother, and Paul Rudd's character, and the mother. Not Podcast, not this other girl. And there was just too many characters. Now, if in a third film, I think they could have brought those characters in and did away with the original cast. But this film was focusing on bringing the original cast in. So it should have been the original cast and the family interacting. And when you brought those other ones, it took too much away from them.
But, so, I just feel they should have limited the older cast screen time and then focused on these. And the reason I say this is because I feel like one of the things that I feel is lacking here, but I saw improvement in this movie, is what Podcast and Phoebe bring to the game. So one of the coolest aspects is in that beginning opening sequence with the chase, we see a new kind of ghost trap. We see a drone ghost trap. And I was like, that's genius. That's great. In Afterlife, we had the RC version too, which is pretty cool. I like seeing these adaptations of progression and what they're trying to do to build it. I think Phoebe carried the torch. I almost feel like the actress who plays Phoebe really studied Harold Ramis and Egon to the T, and I feel like she's a younger kid version of him, in like the way she acted. She studied him.
She 100% was in the first one, in Afterlife. This one,
I don't know. That curiosity was there. Her
it was
looks to the side.
It was. I don't know. I hate that I didn't like her as much in this one as I did, because I've absolutely adored her in Afterlife. And this one, I just didn't get that same vibe.
don't think. I think that was because there was kind of some forced elements, and I also think the nostalgia force stuff. Like, as he said, I talked about it before, but like Slimer and the secretary and the Stay Puft Marshmallow guys, they all I felt unnecessary. I felt like Slimer was almost just for the brother to have something to do. Like he wasn't even like relevant. Like I was expecting Slimer to come in out of nowhere and help save the day at the end somewhere.
Yeah. Hey James, what do you think about what we're talking about?
I like some of it I agree, some of it I disagree. I don't feel that the old guys had too much screen time. Winston had the most, which I found interesting because he wasn't an original Ghostbuster. He was brought in, as hired help. But to see him kind of take the reins of what they were doing, I found super interesting. Ray, I thought Ray's part was pretty cool. I thought it was cool how he got to be nerded out again like he always did, but he's doing it from his shop and taking the kids to the library and that quick little spot. Bill Murray was there. I mean, yeah, it kind of felt like he was just there, but I mean, is that his fault? Is that the writer's fault? Who knows? I like podcast. I thought it was a little weird, but I mean, here's the thing. In all reality, let's just be honest here. We are still in a time where these guys are alive. Let's use them while we can to enjoy what we liked in this. Let's be honest. If you do a Ghostbuster movie right now with all of these guys alive and you don't use them and you don't put Slimer in there at some point because you didn't use him on Slimer wasn't in the last one. You had a chance now to bring Slimer back. They made it look like he's just been sitting in the house for 30 years waiting, eating candy. Like, that's hilarious.
Oh, yeah.
That is hilarious to me.
I mean, I think the initial interaction could have been enough, though. Because there was no, like, reason for it beyond that. Like, just that initial, hey, here he is. But
he only came back one other time.
And am I missing something with the secretary? How the fuck did she get back out to that? I thought after the containment breach, I thought they rounded him up. Am I losing that? After 2 or after 1?
I think they were still rounding them up.
I thought the secretary went with all that, but that's.
I don't think that they ever got all of them. I did read a little fun fact. I guess there was originally, and I don't know if this is true. I read this on IMDb on like some little trivia, and I'm not sure if I'm going to say this exactly right, but. They had evidently there was some part of the story they had written for Rick Moranis.
I was going to bring that up. That's good.
That it was going to show a whole time period of where he was actually trying to catch Slimer, but never could.
That would have been awesome.
And
dude,
that would have been
that would have given so much more context to him. I know it would have made the movie a little longer, but like hell, even if that was the after credits, like because the after credits we got sucked. Yeah. Sorry, I
didn't even stay for him.
All it is there's a trucker who's got a Stay Puft semi truck, and the marshmallows hijack the truck and take off when he gets out of the truck, and that's it. But where they're taking it, no one knows, and if we're gonna get a part 3 with that, who knows what they're alluding to? But yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, as a whole, I enjoyed the movie, but I'm different than you guys. You guys, you read into plot points a lot more than me. You guys are into the directors and the this and the that and all that, and me, I'm just there for a 2-hour entertainment. And is it my favorite? No. Is it my least favorite? I don't know. Will I watch it again? Yes. Will I buy it? Probably. I don't know. As a whole, I was having a blast with my 9-year-old. Just he was loving it. I was loving it. It was. I think that they could have did way fucking worse than they did.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, outside of pacing issues for me, I love the movie, and I'm like you. I will buy this movie. It will be in my collection. I do. Love the movie, but it still falls in the middle ground for a movie for me. But I love the nostalgia of it, and it's.
That's thing. If they don't use the 3 that are still alive, throw Slimer in a second or two here and there.
Hold on. So Slimer, you can bring him back whenever you need to. He's a ghost. That's what it is. So I feel like the story, that's why I said I feel like I like that Phoebe and Dan Aykroyd's story are kind of their paths and where they're going. And I felt like that should have been more the premise of the movie, because Dan Aykroyd really was curious with what happens to him after he dies. He wanted to try and understand what it felt like to be a ghost, and he was getting that across. And I felt like that was done so well, because that sets us up for another, if we got to do another goodbye and another Ghostbusters movie down the road, we've got those options. And, yeah, I don't know. I don't get me wrong. I enjoyed every aspect they threw in here. Janine, my only part I liked about Janine coming back was that she had the unique hand cannon version of the Ecto pack. Yeah. I thought that was awesome. But outside of that, it was kind of pointless. I got the feels because I saw Janine again, but at the same time, it was like, so I don't know. I feel like we've talked about editing in the past, and we've talked about things that could be pulled away from to not make it like, there's just too much going on. I felt they tried to hurry too much into a 2-hour movie, and it just didn't translate the way I had hoped. So, I mean, but all in all, I loved it. Don't get me wrong. Just was rough in parts. Now I'm going to talk about my biggest complaint.
Is that not what you've been doing for 30 minutes?
No, because I see there's good and bad to me. Like, so I see the good and I got the bad. I got the complaints. Am I going to put it in my collection? Fuck yeah. Kumail, though. Let's talk about Kumail. I'm going to butcher his name. Nani Johnny, whatever his name is. This guy's been popping up in Hollywood all over the fucking place. He's even in Kenobi recently. And for the love of God, I just don't understand it. I don't understand his allure.
He's not a good actor.
No, he's horrible. Sorry, dude, if you ever were to hear our little podcast, but like, you're the same person in every role. And that's your gig. So figure out what you're doing and improve on it. Cause you're not doing it for me at all. They made him like basically a firebender from Avatar out of nowhere. That story was so amazing too, like having the family lineage, and you have this orb with this crazy writing on it that predates the Bible. Everything was so perfectly.
But then you have this quirky actor that just is so silly that's supposed to be.
I think that was the point though. Grandma saw him as a failure, and so I get it. But
did it really work? Did it feel right?
No, it felt so forced. I would have rather like Phoebe or one of the other kids all of a sudden figure out they're a firebender than bring in a forced character. I rather Dan Aykroyd have stumbled across this orb because somebody sold it to him, and then these things start unfolding, and we find out there's lineage there through one of the kids somehow. Or maybe make podcasts more relevant, but that was just rough. That's what I was
going to say. Big podcasts do it.
Yeah. You know who had made a really good firebender? Don't choke on your beer.
The fact that you said firebender as well is just hilarious. But go ahead.
James would make a good firebender.
Yeah, firebenders are whiny, so that works.
It's coming from you. You've been bitching for.
I'm not. Listen, I'm just saying what the people feel. That's all.
I'm pretty sure I'm the only one that enjoyed this movie just from front to back.
Listen, I'll tell you what. That element that I'm talking about where I will always give a movie its due diligence and respect it and try and not listen to anyone's outside sources, it matters huge to me. So at the end of the day, I took my 11-year-old to that movie. We sat down, we enjoyed the hell out of that movie together, and my son enjoyed it too. He looked up at that screen and his eyes were engaged. He cared. He liked what was going on. There was parts that dragged for a minute in the beginning where he was a little worried, but when it picked up, he was so all over that movie. And that's what it's about. I tell this with the Star Wars nerds too. Like, everyone gets all fucking hell-bent on the sequel series, and guys, it's not about us anymore. It's just not about us anymore. It's about the kids and the next generation and them grasping onto this. So it meant something to him.
Go ahead, James. I know you got something.
Yeah, I kind of feel the same way. Lawson, we all know, like, he's not a movie kid. He wants to be on his iPad. He wants to play video games. And it was so funny because the first 20 minutes, is all the BS. And we went a little early because Heather was having a thing at work, she had a handle. And I'm like, hey, let's just get out of the house. Let's just go early. I made him cheese popcorn while I was at the kitchen this morning. And so I had to hide that in my back pocket and sneak it in. We bought some sodas and we go in and we're just hanging out. And then once all the stuff started, he's like, I think I posted a picture earlier. He's got his head covered in his hoodie because he's just like, what is taking so long? But once the movie started, I noticed, I didn't know if he was getting fidgety or if he was like really get into like what's happening. Because one minute he's back, the next minute he's like this. And then he's like, I kind of felt like, but he never took his eye off the screen. And so I kind of feel the same way, Ryan's, it's like, we can sit here because we've had our whole lives to watch this, this franchise unfold. And I think we can all say that the only failure that this franchise ever had really was 2016. So, if this is the kind of movie that'll get the 9, 10, 11, 12-year-olds into these kind of movies, and get them into what's coming for the future, then great.
Absolutely.
I mean, if that's just where we're at right now. We cannot be the grumpy old men going, you're fucking up our shit. No, this is the new shit. We had our shit. You can either jump on board and roll with it or keep watching your old shit.
Like, to me, like, the comparison is like the ones who came before us saying, that's not a movie, Gone with the Wind is a movie. Like, and don't get me wrong, Gone with the Wind is a classic. It's got its moments, too. But when you're little and you're a kid and someone's trying to force that shit down your throat, and then there's Star Wars, like, for me, sorry. Or there's any movie that you enjoy as a kid that's relevant and time based, then that's what you go to. So, yeah.
Well, for me, there's, again, and I'm going it's like beating the dead horse with me on this movie. The movie's okay. I enjoyed the movie. There's things I hate about it, pacing issues. However, there was a great movie in there. There was a fucking great movie in there that was not shot. They did not film it. And had they filmed a 2-hour episode of The Real Ghostbusters, which was what part of this film felt like, had they made the whole film like that, this movie could have been one of the best Ghostbuster films. But they didn't film that. They filmed a lot of useless plot points, characters that didn't need to be there, pacing issues, and it just... But I get, it's a different generation. I can't be the grumpy old man. And
we're allowed to be to an extent.
I'll be grumpy.
And I didn't leave the theater grumpy. I left going, yeah. It's the weakest of all of them. And some of the other people that was with me, and actually Julie commented, I was looking here a second ago, she said, it's terrible. Yeah, right here. It was terrible. Julie and Waylon was with me, and Donnie. Donnie loved it. Julie and Waylon were not fans of it, and I kind of fell in the middle ground with this film. So, and I wished I knew when I watched it that we were going to do this on a podcast, because I didn't take any notes because I watched it the night it was released, and so it's been since then since I saw it, and I didn't know we were going to do it. So
I'm going to say this about it. Like, I afterwards, I usually don't do this, but I went and listened to a bunch of other podcast reviews after this movie. It's the first time I've done this. But I wanted to feel like I wasn't crazy. And it definitely had a majority complaint of the overutilization of the nostalgia aspect, trying to shove it down throats. So that said, I wasn't a fan of that aspect, and I feel like you're absolutely right. There was an amazing movie that was in there.
Oh, yeah.
There was amazing elements. I enjoyed it. My son enjoyed it. We're good there. Now, I'm going to talk about the part that I enjoyed even more. He looks like he's cringing. He's like, what's coming next?
I'm just waiting.
Ryan doesn't shut up today. What's going on?
James isn't here, and Ryan is talking.
Oh,
he's like,
yeah.
He demands the attention because James is here remotely.
Oh, no, it's not. But anyways, I'm sorry I'm being the loud guy today. But we will say this. I have to give compliments to the marketing aspect of this movie as well as Dune 2 that just came out, and I'm going to say why. Did you bring the popcorn stuff down or the popcorn bucket?
I did not.
Okay.
We got so tied up with
we had
the
tech issues. But so he was able to get one of the popcorn buckets. You got which one? The trap?
Yeah, I got the Ghost Trap.
So, and I think James got the Slimer one. Was that right?
No, he got the Ghost Trap, and he's holding a burnt Stay Puft.
I see that now on the other screen.
What is this? I must have it. Is it a plushie?
Well, as he's showing
what happens with basketball at Universal?
Well, next time you go to Universal, play some basketball and get me a Stay Puft plushie. Oh, you did get me one. See?
It's not burnt.
So what I was saying, though, is the marketing aspect is something that's genius, and that is that they're making the collectible aspect at the theater. If we're going to see the whole industry come away from this whole just focused on streaming and focused on digital media and get back to the physical media and the theater element, I'm not opposed to these little ploys. I'm not opposed to a $40 fucking bucket because you know what? Everybody went and got it. They all loved it. They all enjoyed it. They were cool little gimmicks, and it brought people to the theaters in droves, and everyone's posting the pictures of these things. I'm cool with it. If they want to do that for every major movie that comes out and get people back in the theaters and make it back to what it was, I'm good.
Oh, I'm good for that. And, I went, years ago, AMC or Cinemark, or maybe it was both of them, they were really good about getting these oddball popcorn buckets. Like, I've got a Stormtrooper one. I've got a Chewbacca one. I've got a bunch of other just crazy ones that I've gotten through the years. So it's cool to see them doing more of this now. Yeah. He is holding up.
Oh, now it's Bob Ross.
It's Bob
I don't
Ross.
know were you hoping he became a ghost to Ghostbusters? Like, what's going on here?
I'm not sure if he's even behind that Bob Ross. Is he? Yeah, there he is.
Well, we know.
Okay.
It's James.
It's show and tell. It's James' show and tell. So we got Sonic. Got a plushie Sonic.
James is in his bedroom tonight.
Oh, he's getting another one. Oh, it's a Doc. He's got a Doc. I'm surprised he knows who Doc is.
Yeah, you nerd. Fucking nerd.
I won all of those shooting basketballs at Universal.
Let's be real. We don't care about your basketball stuffed dolls. Go show us how there's purses. Because your balls are in one. Your balls are in one of those. We want to guess which one.
All of them, and there's more.
Your balls are in all of them?
No, but there's more of those. There's more, dude.
Nice.
Is that all plushies?
No, those are purses.
Purses?
Those are Loungefly backpacks and purses, right?
Disney Loungeflies.
I know Loungefly because they do a lot of partnership with Funko, and Funko, you're my friend.
Hold on. Let me unplug it. Hold on. Here. We're going to detour here. Hold on. I'm going to tell her this is happening. Are you still watching?
So, guys, we're looking back at my monitor so we can actually see him. So that's why we're not looking this way.
Our screens in front of us are delayed a little bit with YouTube, so looking over the actual monitor in real time is a thing.
We've got a caramel apple bag, and then princess bag. I don't know what that one is.
A leather bag.
Yeah, leather bag. I mean, Eeyore as I believe this is Eeyore as a I believe it's like a ice cream cone. Steamboat Willie. Am I doing that right? There we go.
Does she have does she have the R2-D2 one?
No.
Oh.
I don't think she has.
Oh.
I don't think she has
So, James, I need to tell you this. I saw, and I actually saved it. I was going to text it to you, but I'm going to go ahead and tell you about it now. You and Heather both will love this. So, I saw on the Marvel page on Instagram today, in July, they are releasing Donald Duck Wolverine comic books.
Hold on, let me tell her. Hold on. Hey, did you know that? Said one, she's yelling now. Do not remind her she has no Star Wars bags. Did you know that they're going to do a Darkwing, Donald Duck?
As he said that, somebody commented in there, doesn't he have the Darkwing bed sheets? So that's kind of funny.
He does have the Darkwing bed sheets.
They glow in the dark when he wets his bed.
That's how he knows.
Doesn't even need black light. Just shows him when it's happened.
You guys are gross. Hey, the only thing in this room that matters, I just want it to be known, it's non-music. The shot. The shot right there.
I don't know what that is. Who
That's
is
Michael
that?
Jordan.
That's Darkwing Duck. Oh, you're doing the yeah, never mind.
Who?
Just kidding. Yeah.
Is he running a marathon?
Is that Daisy Duck?
So, all right. Did you guys even know how much this movie cost to make?
I did. It cost $100 million.
It cost $100 million.
So
did you see how much the box office did?
Well, it's still in the theaters, but yeah, I saw the current box office numbers. What do you think it's at? It's not bad. What do you think it's at, Ryan? I know you didn't look.
223 mil.
Oh no.
Well,
I'm seeing 139.9.
what is it?
I'm seeing 139.9.
Yeah, I read 140.
I need it to go a lot higher because otherwise they probably won't give us another one. Because my understanding too is that they're working on another animated Ghostbusters, so they're focused on that.
I'd be all for that. Speaking of which, did you see they announced today live action Last Ronin, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Last Ronin film?
I saw that. I don't know how that's going to translate unless they if they do like the old live action 90s, early 90s, late 80s ones. Okay, that could be cool. But I don't know other than that. That's weird.
I'm excited, especially as they said it was going to be rated R.
So, but I'll talk about this. Have you watched your boy Walton in Fallout yet?
Not yet.
I haven't either.
Not yet.
But I'm excited to see the Fallout series.
And I want to watch it. Do you know why? Did you guys know why I want to watch the Fallout series?
Well,
It was Baby Billy.
Well, 2 reasons. Number 1, Walton Goggins.
that's reason in itself.
Number 2, I want to see how much Radioactive Dreams influenced the series.
Well, if they did it right, it should be a lot. The whole video game play is definitely. As soon as you made me watch that movie, and I say made me, I caught on quick to that.
Now that you said that, it reminded me about that. I don't want to watch it now.
I assure you will get a different result. This one they really put their heart and soul into, and it's delivered well from what I've been told.
I didn't like the game. I ended up giving it away.
Yeah, it's definitely because it's a huge, long game, so I understand why you would have.
I got to a point where I'm like, I don't even know what I'm doing. What is the point of this? I'm stuck. I'm just like, this is stupid.
Until you can fast travel in the game, it's really slow.
I guarantee I didn't even get that far. So
yeah.
So talking about how grumpy old men don't like the new Ghostbusters. Have either one of y'all watched Roadhouse?
I won't.
Not yet. Heather liked it.
I watched it, and I'm just going to say I'm going to be a grumpy old man, and I did not like it. I tried to like it, but I did not like it.
Unless you fuckers make me watch it, I'm not going to be watching it.
I'm not going to watch it ever again unless y'all make me watch it.
No.
So,
would you watch it over I Heart Huckabees?
Yes, that's a hard yes.
Fuck you. That aside, I was going to say I saw somebody comment earlier in the feed commenting about Three Body Problem on Netflix, the series, and that one really has my interest. I watched it. I tried to grasp onto it. I liked a lot of the story that was happening. I liked a lot of the things that were happening, the ideas. I just felt very... I feel like I wasted a lot of time. I felt like I could have watched all of what they put into it in 3 episodes, and it was 8 episodes. So that really bothered me. But I digress.
So, I guess before we get into our ratings, we'll ask you guys, since we got you on the live here, I know we've seen some comments, but if you got any questions or anything or opinions about Frozen Empire, go ahead and comment. Go ahead and comment them.
Yes, comment about that. But then I got my wife in the feed over here saying, Jake without a shirt makes it worth it in Roadhouse. No, it doesn't. We're gonna fight when we get home. That's happening.
I'm just gonna say, he's still no Patrick Swayze.
Nope, not at all.
I'm gonna go off base here and go, hey, Ryan, when I get back, are we going to get another burrito?
Fuck yeah. Condado is great.
Yeah, I wasn't invited for the burritos. I see how it is.
You're coming with us, okay?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We took the little ones, so the little ones met. And it was fun, too, because Lawson is a great little helper at solving riddles. And what was it? Lawson taught me something, which was very interesting for me because he's so young. What was it? It was, the amount of chess moves that are possible in the game of chess is greater than the number of molecules. What was it? Molecules in the universe? What did he say? The known molecules in the universe? Anyways, this little kid taught me that. I didn't believe him. I called bullshit to a 9-year-old. I looked it up and he was right. He was right. That's how I know I'm ready for death. The younger generation has it all locked in.
I did actually have some fun facts. I had someplace.
So we're just gonna ignore the fact that the big baddie is the same big baddie from Tenacious D because his horns were replaced to make him whole.
Well, let James talk about that. What's your feelings on that, James?
Did he go muted again?
He's not muted. He's just not talking. Well, he's not muted, but he is not. We are not getting audio from him.
James fucked it up. It's all him.
He's so mad.
James, you need to learn sign language.
We got to learn how to read it.
Yeah. Is it middle fingers? Is it all middle fingers? Yeah, figured.
Yeah, we're not getting audio from him. I think he's restarting his camera, but which I'll have to reset the link.
I will get into the because before we get into ratings, I feel like we really didn't cover the full gist of this movie though. So once the city starts freezing over and the ghosts start coming into play. By the way, the main baddie in this one, most ghosts fear him because he can control them. And he was locked in this orb that comes into the possession of Dan Aykroyd's character. Locked in this orb, and the orb can only be released. Was it because of Phoebe? What was the reason why? What helped release the orb? I'm losing that one.
Yeah, it was something to do with I lost my train of thought. I think we're getting James back.
I hear James back.
I heard him back for a second. It was something about Phoebe whenever she turned herself in, she killed herself, but it was something like, was it like something because she was innocent or something weird?
When she went into that form, he could control her as a ghost, and she said the words that needed to be said to release the orb.
Yeah.
When that happened, though, that's when everything kind of breaks loose, goes crazy. The Ghostbusters squad up, old and new, to fight him, including the firebender. And it goes from there. But the battle is kind of short lived, but it's not horrible at all. I definitely liked the villain in this one. He looked cool, felt cool. I think like he was a bitch when it was all said and done, but he definitely had the right vibe.
Well, we had James back for a second. We had his audio for a minute anyway. I don't know where. I'm sure he's resetting. Are you back with us, James?
Never doubt the 9-year-old dropping big.
I hear audio,
for sure,
but I
for
don't,
real, dude.
I hear his audio, but I don't see his video, which is fine. I just want to hear his audio.
I've been dealing with kids dropping facts to me for a while because my 20-year-old has the tism, and he loves throwing those facts at me. So.
All right, well, while he is resetting, and he is reset again.
James, even if you're black screen at this point and can just give audio, we're good.
Yeah,
you already gave us the house tour. You gave us your cribs tour. So,
well, go ahead and go into your rating. And
okay. So my rating on this was probably a 3.1 nerds. It wasn't amazing by any means. It was not bad at all, though. I really hope to see more character development in another one if we get that far. and to not try and force so much. And I hope to God they don't bring a Firebender back and he's part of the Ghostbusters team, because that wouldn't feel right. So 3.1 nerds from me.
I'm going to go into mine. It fell into the middle ground with me. So I'm going to say 2.6.
Okay.
So 2.6 out of 5. It's.
I was being generous with mine too.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I'm going to keep it right in the middle, because I think this is the weakest of all the chronologically canon
that said,
Ghostbuster films.
What is your ranking? Give me your order in 4. What do we got?
Like my favorite to least favorite?
Yep.
Obviously Ghostbusters.
The original?
Original. Okay. I know I'll get butchered for this one, but I will say Afterlife. I really loved Afterlife. And then Ghostbusters 2. And then obviously Frozen Empire.
I'm in a little bit different state, so I'm probably in the anomaly of this.
I got his audio back now.
Oh yeah, I can hear that. And he's echoing into us, so that's wonderful.
Yeah.
Anyways, my top order would be number 1 would be Ghostbusters 2. I preferred 2 over 1, and then Ghostbusters first part 1, then Afterlife, and then this Frozen Empire. So.
Yeah, I love Ghostbusters too, but I don't know. I loved Afterlife. I generally had a very huge opinion of Afterlife. So
we don't have James, but I forgot I have something for you.
Well, we're getting audio. Oh, okay. What do we got here? Oh, I've actually had these.
God damn it.
And Waylon actually bought me a pack of these.
I haven't tried them. I've been saving these a month for.
Let's get not hard, are they?
No. They're sealed up.
We'll go ahead and open them.
All right, we're going to do that. Well, let's see if James is coming back in here or not.
Yeah,
I think he gave up.
He keeps popping up, but when he pops up, I have to. That's why I keep looking over. I have to reactivate his audio, and he bailed back out.
Oh, these are nice and fresh, actually.
They're actually pretty good. I don't like Peeps, but for Peeps, they're pretty good.
Oh, yeah. Those are good.
Yeah, I enjoy them. I wonder if...
I'm really bummed out that I wasn't... I was so sure. I was like, he hasn't had these. I'm definitely going to...
Yeah. I was hoping James would come back in, but I wonder if he will... at least text his rating, so we can tell you guys his rating of this at least.
Oh, we're waiting for the text. Well, in the meantime, I can tell you that the aftertaste on these is very medicinal. Like it's almost like a cough syrup on the back end.
Yeah. Well,
let's see. You didn't. Oh, wife, she's poking at me, dude. You didn't buy those. I bought them. I picked them, put them in the cart, and then transferred you a nice chunk of money, wife. Yeah, what's up? I win. Oh, Matt.
have we got any questions on YouTube? Because we don't really have any on Facebook.
Matt said deep fry these, that they're amazing. And then my wife heard that he said 3.7 is his rating.
3.7. I guess he's given up on trying to get back in.
Which is fair, because we've had a lot of headaches with
We've had issues with it. We didn't have issues before when we've done it, but so I don't know what's going on. We had issues before we even started the live feed. So we do apologize. We lost James, and I miss him already. So we're sad.
I'm looking back, seeing if we do have any questions. James said the link is broken. I see his 3.7 actually now up ahead. Storm of the Iron said the movie was just fun. Yes, I agree with you. I think that says it all for it. The little nuances, the little details that we're deep diving into are just our little personal likes, dislikes, all that fun. But at the end of the day, I think we all left the movie not feeling bummed out or upset. Would you agree?
Oh yeah, no, I wasn't upset. I left the theater, and my first thing was, it's my least favorite. Kind of what I've been saying the whole episode. It was my least favorite, but I still enjoyed it, and it's even with its problems. So,
seeing if there's any other fun questions.
We got Kyle asking off subject, but have y'all watched Snack Shack yet?
I have not. What's the premise of Snack Shack?
You know what? I'm going to take these headphones off because we don't need them to hear.
James,
we don't have James. So
that's refreshing.
That's nice. That's really nice.
My big ears don't like little headphones. So.
Anyway, Snack Shack. Have you seen it?
I have not.
I don't even know what Snack Shack is.
I'm in my mind right away. I go to cannibalism, so I hope it's good. No, what have I been watching lately? I'll give some series I've been watching. I started watching Warrior, which is a Max-based period piece in San Francisco, right around the end of the railroad build. So I definitely I'm a fan of that so far. What else did I watch?
I've been watching X-Men '97.
I watched the first 2 episodes of that. That's solid.
Yeah, I've watched the first 3. I think there's another one out now that I've not watched, but it's been solid. But I think I saw a spoiler for the current episode, and I'm a little disappointed that I saw the spoiler because it's a huge one. So I'm hoping it wasn't what I saw wasn't correct.
I didn't like what they did to Bishop's hair. Bishop's mullet, I appreciated.
There's some of the artwork that I'm not real fond of in this, but it's still fantastic. I'm loving it, and other than that, I've just been I've been rewatching old Top Gear episodes.
I've been in a period piece kick. So like Warrior takes place post railroad, like we're talking like 1800s in that ballpark, and then Shogun is another period piece that's feudal Japan, and it's the Catholics are already there, and the Protestants come over, and they're going back and forth and trying to enforce their rule essentially. But yeah, so
I saw today they, as we talked about, the Last Ronin movie that's being made, but they also announced today that there's a new series of Heroes in development.
I saw that, which is really interesting to me because I don't know if they're going to incorporate the old ones. I don't know how it's going to fly.
Well, and they tried it a few years ago with, what was it? Reborn or Rebirth or
yeah, it's one of those two. Maybe
something like
I really like how they approached Siler in that. If you remember that, because I always felt like there was something worthwhile in him.
Yeah, I love Siler. Siler was like my favorite thing about Heroes. So
he kind of made his character Quentin. He made the first season of American Horror Story for me as well.
Oh yeah, Zachary Quinto or
yeah, that's right.
Spock.
Outstanding. On that note, we've given our ratings. We lost James, so you can find us at 3cinenerds@gmail.com. If you have any questions, any suggestions, anything you want to talk to us about, please email us there. I think most of the people that are in the feed also know us on Facebook in some way, shape, or form, so always feel free to shoot us a message. That aside, check out that link tree that we got up in our Facebook page. There is a merch link at the bottom, and buying merch always helps us out, and it always spreads the word, so we always love that. So,
I always say this: click follow, share, subscribe. But one thing I'd like all of you to do, even if you're watching this live on Facebook, if you're watching us on the YouTube live, or if you're coming in on like the YouTube channel on our regular episodes where we're not live or pre-recorded, please go to our Spotify, give us a rating, go to our Apple Podcast, write a review, give us a rating and write us a review. Those reviews really, 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 really help, especially since we don't have any sponsors. This is all on us. So, like, the more you share, the more you watch, the more you rate, give us writing reviews. All this stuff helps, and it's free. It just
I was gonna say talking shit with us back and forth on the page and having fun, and doing those types of things and sharing. It's all free. There's no cost to you, and it helps us get the word out there and helps us grow some audience, and it's always helpful.
Alrighty.
Cool. Well, we are going to have another episode up next Thursday for you at 8 p.m.
And that episode is pre-recorded. We recorded this one actually before we left for tour, and it will be on the film Scream. It was my selection.
It's a good one.
And so it's going to be a good episode. So, and we've got some...
I know my wife's happy about that one. She loves Scream.
We got a few more. We're getting ready to pre-record Sunday when James gets back into Ohio. But, yeah.
Cool. All right, well, we're CineNerds, and have a great one.
And I'll say bye for James, and till next time.
Cheers.